Alright, so in this one, we are going to be reacting to Goresh's ranking the top 10 best characters in the game June 2024 edition of Dragon Ball Legends. I've seen on Twitter, I actually have not many complaints. How we're going to do this video, by the way, is if I can agree on a placement, and it's just like, alright, sure, that is what I could see as something I can cope or understand. Doesn't have to mean I fully 100% agree with it, but I can understand it. I'm just gonna get to the next one because this is a long video. It's barely not 50 minutes, so yeah, that's gonna go on there. Without further ado, let's get into this here. I am curious to hear a lot of reasonings on things because with some characters I don't agree, but a lot, I'll be honest, I basically agree with like a lot. You'll see. Well, let's get into it.
Hey guys, today we're going to be jumping into a top 10 characters in Dragon Ball Legends video. This is going to be the June 2024 version. We probably will have multiple June 2024 versions.
Yeah, honest, I could just skip the intro here, right? Yeah, okay.
All right,
let me see honorable mentions. Honorable mentions is Goku, Bardock, Yamcha, and Broly. Okay. I had Goku, Bardock 10, I think they were 10 or 9, whatever it was. So yeah, I can understand that lower bracket, kind of 8 through 10, is all a mishmash, I would say, of honorable mentions, and kind of just like this 8 through 15 is mostly characters you could have kind of swapped with one another. So these two here of Broly and Goku, Bardock, which I both had in this top 15 bracket, yeah, that makes sense. Yamcha, I guess it's a bit tough because you're running into Gohan a lot, and you're not really running into a red, per se. Like, I get it, he can, lock in and stuff, but Yamcha, I would say, probably the lower end of it, but, yeah, that makes sense. So, let's get through, and, oh my god, let's get into, well, backwards, 10 through 9 here, it says.
Okay, so coming in at number 10 and number 9, I have this as a sort of shared position.
GT Goku and Paikuhan. GT Goku, I feel can he cut it? I mean, this guy can't tank right now. He just can't, right? Where is he going? Where are you going to run him? You have Vegito. Why would you ever run GT Goku? I get he's a secondary. God damn, you might even run Feet-Ku over GT Goku. Shit, I think you would run Feet-Ku over GT Goku. This will be interesting to hear. And then Paikuhan, I'm thinking of movies. Again, I'm just kind of saying my thoughts prior to his own thoughts, see if we can agree once I, let the man speak. But Paikuhan, like, again, I get movies. Would you just run Ultra Golden Frieza, Gogeta, and then Broly? I mean, you have the safety in Frieza there. You have the sustain in Frieza and Gogeta, and you don't really have to do much work. You kind of have maintenance with Paikuhan and Gogeta. If you have to do, everything, so you have to do Paikuhan's greens, you have to do Gogeta's comboing to get a Gogeta out. And if you're thinking fusions, it's even more maintenance because you have Vegito and Gogeta maintenance, and then Paikuhan on top of that. So I don't know about Paikuhan. GT Goku, these are both definitely the end of the barrel, 10-9 options. Let me hear what he has to say.
On the list, I didn't really know who to put at 10, who to put at 9, but I feel like there's a pretty solid argument you could make for both these characters at either one of these positions here. So we have the GT Universal Spirit Bomb Goku, and we have reviving Paikuhan into Super Gogeta. I think is a very obvious argument for Paikuhan to be on this list now. I don't think I included him on the past few top 10 lists, but obviously with us getting two very, very strong Fusion Warrior characters during the part 1 of the 6th anniversary, Paikuhan does fulfill a pretty decent role as a third option for the Fusion Warrior team. I believe the video that I have going up today...
That's not wrong. He's right. But you don't need to run pure teams. I mean, it's just how it is. Like, yes, you can run a pure team, but like, are you running into a pure team? You're running into Gohan leadered. You're running into maybe movies with Vegito or Sun Family with like UI, Gohan, and Vegito or Gogeta. Yeah, fusions can work. It's okay. It's solid. But like, Paikuhan's not solid is the issue.
A little bit earlier than this one.
Like, really not. He does nothing.
On Fusion
He's
Warriors,
just pom-poms. Pom-poms. Cheerleader.
Gogeta Blue and Super Vegito. Paikuhan does fulfill a decent role there. He has Revival, which I mean, Super Vegito definitely can punish you for having a revival character.
Oh yeah, also that exists.
Having a revival character and having, a way to survive the Rising Rush is much better than just straight up dying to a Rising Rush from him. So, in that regard, Paikuhan's revive does have a lot of value.
Okay.
I think
true.
Purple characters have. You could argue they've been hurt a little bit by Gogeta's really. We'll get to Gogeta later in this list.
Purple's been hurt by Gogeta. See, there again, he'll get to Gogeta as he said, and we'll talk about Gogeta when we get there, because I know there's a lot of Gogeta talk recently in a negative mannerism. But yes, yellow beats purple. Agreed. That is true, but there's one purple you're thinking about, and it's Frieza. You can run Frieza. You can run Frieza very fine. Frieza was fine against Baby and UI. He was run on a glaze setup when Baby and UI were like the better, yellows that exist. And now, well, if Gogeta, spoilers, is rated the highest in the world, are purples really that down bad? I don't know. I don't know.
Think, his ability to support as well definitely helps him as well in his role as like the third character on a Fusion Warrior team. I am a bit probably less optimistic about Paikuhan's future, I guess, longevity.
Just a cheerleader!
His position on the Fusion Warrior team. Obviously, Revive is really, really good. The only problem that I have with him, though, is it takes just a long time to get his gauge filled up. And for that reason, the team heal and the support are both dependent.
I keep pausing it, but that's exactly my point. Like I said, the team requires maintenance, right? You got too much maintenance. He said fusions, okay. You got to do Vegito's shit. You got to do Gogeta's shit, which Vegito you can kind of not do because if you lose somebody, okay, Vegito auto gets his transformation. Fine, let's say Vegito you don't have to do. Gogeta you have to. Gogeta does not auto transform when an ally dies like Vegito. Stupid, but he doesn't. So you have two maintenance characters still. You don't want any maintenance. Maybe one, but you don't want many. That's why people are running Ultra Gohan with the fusions, because you can let Gogeta die. Okay, well, here's Vegito, auto transform, Gohan's no maintenance. You kind of had that going. Here, that would be triple maintenance. It is tough, or arguably double. It's just tough to like do anything in an early game setting, and I don't think it's valid.
Upon the gauge filling up, and as we get stronger and stronger characters, it's going to get harder to guarantee that gauge fills up. I've had a lot of fights where I just don't have the means to have it,
you have the means to have them enter,
sack them off, or whatever the situation is. So
there's never a
point
as
a
to have them enter.
The Super Gogeta side still can do decent damage. Super Gogeta having a range blue that nullifies endurance is really strong.
That's good.
Well, so
that is
I don't
strong.
Really have too many complaints
True.
about Paikuhan. He's a pretty good green card generator as well. It's just he has like a pretty standard spot on Fusion Warriors as like.
You don't need a green card generator if you're running fusions, by the way. They make infinite greens, these two tag units. I don't know why. I don't know how. I mean, they do make a little bit of greens, but like they make infinite. Enjoy the ambulance in the background.
Third supporting role character that has okay disrupt, and he's kind of just a solid unit. That's all around what I can say about him. And I think GT Goku is kind of in a similar spot too. GT Goku,
I just don't know where he goes. GT Goku
that is one of the only characters still that actually can tank. We've seen a slight evolution in the.
Bro, come on. I've been fighting GT Gokus rarely. With all these other units I've been fighting with, and it's like, this dude cannot. If there's a tank right now, if there's one thing I can glaze about Gogeta Blue right now before anything, is that dude is probably the bulkiest unit in the current meta. Gogeta Blue only, not pre, Gogeta Blue, because he literally has damage reduction on top of damage reduction when he gets into Gogeta Blue. GT Goku cannot tank. He cannot. I don't care what it is. You have Gogeta, you have Vegito. If they're doing a normal combo like any, typical guy, he is not tanking GT Goku. I am sorry, he does not tank right now. Not a fucking crumb.
The 6th anniversary here.
I thought he did.
We've sort of gone away from like super mega long combos. Reverse of that. We've gone from a meta that is more so determined upon getting hit really, really hard in like a few hits to a meta of decently long combos.
Yes.
If you guys have fought against
Super
the 6th
17.
anniversary fusions, the pre-fused versions, and even potentially the fused
They
versions,
do a lot of cards.
the Goku and Vegeta side of those characters, They combo for a long time. They're hitting you with like 6, 7, 8, 9 arts cards in a combo. And for that reason, we're able to take advantage
like 15,
of
it feels.
Kid Goku's healing. And I feel like another strong reason why I would have Kid Goku in the 9 or 10 slot here, he's a really good character to be used against Vegito, because Vegito can Rising Rush this character, and you can't guess him. But
that's valid.
Goku removes
that's valid.
Endurance amplification effects when they actually
I don't think Vegito needs to rush him.
Actually could survive Vegito's Rising Rush. I think
that's a good
pretty
point.
Important. I think I just like Kid Goku as like a solid inclusion on like pretty much any Saiyan team, Sun Family team. He's pretty decent on GT, of course. GT is still a viable team. I think GT's been a little hurt by the 6.
So if Fiku wasn't here, I doubt Fiku's going to make the list because I don't think he's that good. But just saying Fiku probably is better. Just outright, just better than GT Goku. Just how it is.
Anniversary characters, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I don't really see
Very good
much of an argument to have GT Goku or Paikuhan really like out of the top 10. I don't really know. I think if you had to ask me which one I think I like better right now, I would just say Paikuhan solely due to the Fusion Warrior team right now being really strong.
I guess I'd say Paikuhan over GT Goku. I guess
Paikuhan
sure.
On the team that I used with the Fusion
in
Warrior
this setting
earlier was like 4 million health or something.
Yeah, no, that exists. Yes.
So pretty strong character.
You can bulk.
GT Goku kind of similar. He can fulfill a decent role as a finisher when you can remove your opponent to vanish as the last man standing. And overall, just like one of the only characters that actually can tank right now. So. Number 10, number 9 on the list.
I don't agree at all.
And we have reviving Paikuhan into Super Goku.
Number 8 coming up.
Coming in at number 8 is going to be Nappa, who revives into.
So I think I have them the same spot. I don't own this character. Wasn't playing when they dropped, and I did one rotation before their banner went to like. No, I did one rotation when their banner was at 600, and I pulled nothing. I don't really care to pull them, but like I was trying. But I. Only from experience of watching and seeing other people use this unit. Yeah, I agree. Number 8, I had them number 8, I think it was. Their value clearly would go down because these yellows, like, they're scared of a yellow, right? This revival is scared of a yellow. 3 yellows, yes, that's logical. But Frieza, I don't think is the same, being. Frieza's just a fucking god. But yes, this makes sense. I agree wholeheartedly with this. I don't need to hear more again. If we hear something that I can agree with, and well, hopefully you agree with it, then we continue. So let's get to number 7. Curious on this one.
Number 7. All right, number 7. We have.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's 2 agreements in a row. Nice. Yeah. No, Super 17. I had number 7 as well. At least I'm pretty sure I did. If not, I understand number 7. Yeah. His teams, they are a bit lackluster to what they were, so what that means is he's going to go down in value in that regard. Again, he is not bad in his own merit, but if your teams get worse, then you got to lose value. It's just kind of common sense there. So, yeah, number 7, agreed. Oh, number 6 time. I think, is this the one that I think it is?
All right, so coming in at number 6, we have...
Once again... I'm in agreement here. Super Baby 2, yes, I would say Super Baby 2 kind of rounds out this. He's arguable with other characters. I think it's a hard argument for Baby just because not many people have him high stars. But from what I've seen, from what I faced a lot prior to Anniversary with the Golden Frieza meta, or even just kind of around about when Baby dropped, if there is a high star Baby, he's a problem. The best comparison Baby makes to any character in the game that's existed is Ultra Broly. If you were facing Ultra Broly at high stars, you were in trouble. He was a god. Like, he was amazing. He had Cooler with him, obviously, doing very well. But if it was Ultra Broly that was high stars, you couldn't kill the dude. He was just bulking and hitting the fuck out of you. Baby, a very similar vein. They have a very similar gauge in that same merit as well. So yes, Baby, 6, completely understandable. I like this so far. Again, I did say or allude to that most of this list I'm pretty much in agreement with. There's just one thing I'm like very curious, and that's going to be at the end. But number 6, Baby, so far, the top 9 through 10, it doesn't really matter, but that was a little hazy to me. But these 3, yeah, no, 100% agree. Let's move on to number 5 here.
Number 5. Okay, so coming in at number 5, we have.
So I can understand this. But let me, oh my god, that's a 13-minute explanation going on. Well, let's just open our ears and we will pause when we gotta speak.
Fusing Gogeta Blue.
I can understand.
This is I know people are going to be very, very upset at this. I could
Agreed.
very easily have put this character higher up on my list and appeased, the players here. But this is my honest opinion. I'm not going to...
No, that's actually funny as fuck. I'm sorry. Just to appease people, because, people are going to be pissed about having a fusion be not top 2 or top 3. Yeah, no. That's genuinely funny, because people are actually mad about this. It's just his opinion, by the way. It's not that serious, I promise. Like, people are actually, like, pissed, and it's like, relax.
Flub the rankings just because this is a very popular character. I know this is a very, very hyped character. This is probably one of the single greatest and most hype releases ever in this game.
Correct.
I am content with them being number 5 on this list. I'm going to explain why I have them here, and you guys...
I'm content with it, but I don't fully agree on it. I'm in this hazy area with this character personally here at, they can't be top 2. They could be argued better than Golden, or you could say Golden's better. So for me, they're 3-4, kind of 3A, 3B type. But I understand where this is coming from, personally. Just from my experience with PvP, I can understand, like, I slander him a lot, this duo right here. A lot. But I still think this character is very easily top 5. If nothing else, I'm actually thinking he's higher than where Goresh is putting him right now. So, just to put my perspective out there, I don't think this is underrating. I think this is, the experience is just a little bit different than others. I think that's mostly it, which is always true, but with this character specifically, it feels much more different just because the expectation is to be top 2 as a new fusion. But the fact that it isn't, or at least this opinion that it isn't, or my opinion that it isn't, or a lot of people's opinion that it isn't, people won't like.
You guys can feel free to disagree with me. Again, remember what I said at the beginning of this video. This is entirely based on my experience. You guys might have a completely different experience than me with using this character. Most of you guys probably aren't using this character at 14 stars against other 14-star characters. There's a lot of different factors that go into why I have them at number 5. So I'm just going to go through some of the reasons here about why I have them at number 5 on the list and why I don't have them higher, etc. So let's just start by talking about some of the positive aspects of this character. So first things first, I think they're actually a very, very strong character pre-fusion. They have constant green card generation, which allows them to chain their tag switch many, many times in a row. They have really decent vanish restoration mechanics with the switching, getting
Vegito doesn't have that, the pre.
And one thing that I actually am going to mention with this character, and I mentioned the same exact thing when we get to Super Vegito later on in this video. One of the things that I am really impressed with this character and the Vegito character, both the 6th anniversary units, is they are not as reliant on card draw speed as basically every other character in the game.
Because they make a card on tag out.
A lot of their cards through forced card draw. And what I mean by forced card draw
that is good. I haven't thought about that.
Battlefield, they draw a card.
Just to mention, he's mentioning the pre-tag here. Just saying, he's saying pre-tag. Gogeta post only has 1x card draw, I believe it is. Vegito has, I'm pretty sure he could get much more. Can he get a lot of card draw speed? I'm pretty sure Vegito, like 2, 3, I think it is. I think it's 3x at peak. So, the pre, yes. The pre, they make cards a lot, but once we get to fusion,
When they use a green card, they draw a card. When they tag switch, they draw a card. So, instead of relying on double card draw speed, triple card draw speed, whatever it is, they just generate cards with their abilities, which I really do like. It's kind of like a way for them to power creep like traditional card draw speed. And we now do have a lot of different characters that debuff card draw speed. So even if you're in a situation where you're fighting against a character that maybe gives you like -2 card draw speed levels, this character is really not going to care about that as much as many other units because they just generate cards without needing to rely on card draw speed, which I think is really good. They have a really powerful key disrupt at half health. I think it's -70 key, I believe, is what it is when they have.
Like, yes, it's powerful, but is it impactful? How many units do you know that get key on entry? You know, let's say they do their disrupt. Okay, let's say Ultra Gohan or UI was comboing prior. They get below 50. Well, your key's gone. Then you just swap into a different character, and then you just get it back. I would actually say the Vegito portions is better because well, it's destroying your hand, right? You're not going to always draw a card on a swap out or on a charge step, so that'd be probably better, ideally. Most units aren't having immunity to card destruction. I think it's literally only Gohan. The key thing, everyone's entering with key, so it's like, this is worse than the Vegeta. Like, so much worse. That's obvious. It's just, he's saying it's strong. I don't think it's very strong. Like, there's no real impact to it, to, like, majority of the game that's, like, top tier.
They hit 50% health, which obviously will activate mid-combo as well. Something that I really don't see many people talking about, and this is also going to carry over to the post-fusion version of this character as well, is they have really, really good bulk. This is a really tanky
yes!
unit.
Thank
the
you!
Mechanic
I don't hear it either! They fucking tank! They're one of the best!
Received against impact damage for 5 counts after using an arts card. You can actually... I didn't even realize you could do this when I was doing my initial breakdowns of this character, but it really is tangible once you get to use them. You can actually stack that effect up multiple times, and I've had a lot of instances where I'm like in full screen, I throw a blast card, I get PV'd, and then I throw out like another card right away to stack the combo, effect, and the opponent goes for like a blue card, and the blue card hits me for like almost no damage. So
very bulky, really, the bulkiest unit in the game right now. Yes, thank you.
I would say that my issue and my issues with this character almost entirely lie with the fused version of this character.
Oh, really? Okay, let me just point out an issue that they have that's not fused, just in case he doesn't mention it. So, pre-tag Vegito has, again, I'm comparing because they dropped the same fucking day. They're both fusions. Like, we gotta compare them. It just makes sense. Pre-tag Vegito, every time enemy swaps, they get 3 counts of type neutral. Overall, type neutral. Pre-tag Gogeta has 0 type neutral. So he's not going to mention anything else about the pre-tags, probably. One has type neutral, the other doesn't. Yes, we're not really fighting too many reds right now. Understandable. But we're talking about an aging sense here and kind of just things that matter. And by the way, there are good reds. You still have Super 17. Red Beast is okay. Super Vegeta is okay. There are reds that are good or okay enough to be used. People are just running the new highlight character. But I'm talking aging here. No pre-tag type neutral. Offense or defense. That is fucking terrible. I just have to say that right now. That's fucking atrocious.
So Gogeta Blue. Once you fuse into Gogeta Blue,
no cover
again, I would probably echo some of the things I talked about with their pre-fuse version. And one of the main reasons why is because they're actually... or once you fuse into Gogeta, he actually is one of the best defensive characters in the game.
Yes.
He is healing constantly. He has type neutrality defensively. He destroys blast cards on entry, so he does have disrupt.
I'm just nitpicking because this is a very important character to touch on because this is literally like the what the fuck place, right? For a lot of people. I don't think so, but for a lot of people. Again, I'm comparing here, as I should. They have type neutral defensively. I don't know how long. What is it? 20? They have it. Same thing as G4, I think it is. So it's every entry for 15 counts defensively type neutral. So that's 45 counts total. Vegito has it forever. I don't understand why that's the case, but I'm, again, just pointing out, one is just having superiority to the other in stupid mannerisms, and there's another. They have it 45 counts peak, Vegito has it forever. Just saying.
And he does maintain the same impact damage reduction mechanic that they have before fusing. So defensively, I think this is actually a really strong unit. Mm-hmm. But there are certain things that I really don't like about the fused version. Number one, he doesn't draw a card on entry. That might not sound that important.
That is bad.
Not drawing
that
a
is
card
bad.
on entry,
that's very bad. Vegito does.
It really does matter because that would have helped his assault chain mechanic so much.
Mm-hmm.
If you aren't going to be spawning a card on entry, because remember, he is going to change the cards in his hand to strikes, or the blaster. He changes all blast cards to strikes when he hits the opponent with a strike or a blast for the first time. That really is the best way to be able to take advantage of Assault Chain. And I guess with that being said, we'll just immediately go into the Assault Chain portion of this. This is probably my biggest gripe with the character. I just really don't think Assault Chain is good enough. I am going to be very adamant about this.
Correct. Well, Assault Chain, while it is a mechanic in the game, this is what Legends does. It's not new. It's been done quite a few times, the most notable being the Buu Duo compared to the Gammas. The first iteration of Standby, right? Look at the Buu Duo, look at the Gammas. You see how the Gammas were a big improvement? Gogeta Blue has the first iteration of this new mechanic here of the auto-chaining and kind of immunity to these specific gauges to just combo through them, which is cool, it's good, it's fine, but that's the problem. It's just fine. He was a test subject, Gogeta, and what they usually do is they make the test subjects a bit subpar in other categories because they feel that new mechanic, they don't know if it's too broken. So what they do is they kind of make everything else a little bit worse off for the character, because you look at Vegito, what's his broken thing? Well, he has the rush thing. Okay, but that's not anything too crazy. It's not literally like changing who can attack who at this point, because Gogeta can attack anybody. Vegito can't attack Gohan like Gogeta can, right? So they make him more subpar in a nature, and Assault Chain is, once again, subpar to what it should be, as every new mechanic usually is. They kind of fumble the bag a bit.
The entire
or they're
gimmick
worried.
of Fused Gogeta Blue is the Assault Chain
Just
mechanic,
spam.
and it's his only way of getting special cover change nullification. It's his only way of getting it. He doesn't technically... I don't think he even technically gains special cover change nullification ever.
No, the only way, this is the correct way to play the character, both fusions actually, because they do have Lactor of cover null to a further extent. Vegito is much easier because Gogeta literally has none. You would, ideally, you would do a blast card, then you tag out, then you fuse, and then from there, you get cover null when you tag out, right? You retain it, I think it's 5 counts cover null. Then from there, you fuse, now you have cover null, now you could do regular tech with Gogeta, you don't have to do the Assault Chain. But that's the only way, right? It's not good. It's bad. His only way of cover null is by his first time he's going to fuse that first combo because he had it from his pre's. That's terrible.
When he fuses with Gogeta. Right? Technically what you can do is you can tag out with Goku and Vegeta and then fuse into Gogeta.
Yes.
And if you still have a charge left of the special cover change nullification from the switch ability, that can carry over to Gogeta Blue when you fuse with them, which is a pretty powerful effect. But Gogeta Blue himself, I don't think there's any way he actually gains special cover change nullification outside
he ups
of
sub
his
count
Assault
by
Chain
3 on
mechanic,
the enemy.
because that's the whole purpose of the
On
Assault
his
Chain
green.
mechanic.
That's not, he doesn't get cover null like Vegeta.
I'm pretty sure, like, I
Stupid.
don't want to make general statements like this that often, but I'm pretty sure that they just didn't fully playtest the Assault Chain mechanic.
They were scared of it,
before
probably.
its implementation, because the fact that it has to be chained in right away and it can't be sidestepped or charge stepped into, like, that significantly reduces the power level of this character. I think it's really powerful that you can, Assault Chain your way into the gauge filling up, and you can go type neutral and you can draw more cards, but it's just not strong enough. The fact that you have to rely on the Assault Chain to get cover null, I think it's fine that he nullifies those like counter gauges.
It is a good thing that he nullifies them. Just to say, he'll probably mention it. You don't chain a green or blue into the Assault Chain. Meaning, if you were to combo a Gohan and he's like low health and you're going to kill him with the blue card, but he has the gauge still, well, his gauge will proc if you blue card him, because you're going to try to nullify his endurance with the blue card. His gauge will proc, and then beat the fuck out of you, punch you back. Why the fuck does that not chain? Who the fuck designed that? He's probably right to an extent with the playtesting thing, but yeah, that, again, there's a lot of stupidity in this character. It's just little flaws, but they're sprinkled so throughout, you have to notice them at some point once you really, like, get into the usage.
It's fine. I think I have 2 hot takes about this character that I'll go through here.
Oh boy.
Number 1, I would rather this character, when they're fused into Gogeta Blue, I would rather they simply have cover nullification for 5 counts after using a strike or a blast card than the entire Assault Chain mechanic. If they deleted the Assault Chain mechanic and just gave Gogeta Blue cover nullification for 5 counts upon using a strike or a blast card, I would like that more, I'm pretty sure.
That's what Ultra Janemba does.
That is the exact same special cover change nullification mechanic that Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan has. And a lot of characters have that. I think like Ultra Janemba has that too. I think like
we're on the same wavelength, bro.
I think like the Red Supreme Kai has that. I think his might be when you land the card, but it's pretty much the same thing. The lack of special cover change nullification, then the fact that you could only use that when you're chaining cards together, and chaining strike cards too. It's not good enough. It is not good enough.
You know what the funniest part about it is? It's not even that it's not good enough, because that's true. It's also the fact that if you aren't doing that, Well, you're most likely predicting what's going to happen next, and it's probably going to be that for some reason they stopped assault chaining, but they had a blast card. So you could probably predict the blast card very easily, because why wouldn't you assault chain, right? There's no reason to not. It's the best benefit to Gogeta Blue. But if they stop doing the assault chain, it's very easy to predict what card would be next. It probably would be a blast. Then let's say pre-tag Vegito. Vegeta covers on blast, and if you're facing a Gogeta, he covers on blast. So it is such. It's a roller coaster downhill every time you think of like, oh, something wrong with this character. Then you think of like, there's this, then there's this, then there's this. It's not, again, one big issue. It's just a lot of small issues.
It would have made this character ridiculous, which I think is fine.
Should be.
But I think, again, they'd have to playtest this. But I think if they just made Assault Chain occur on every strike card, no matter what you were doing, I think that would have been better. It would have been fine. I think so. It's possible. It would
be better, yes.
But I'm just telling you guys right now, the Assault Chain mechanic, I would consider to be a failure. I think they tried something different. I'm going to give them props for that.
It's a test. Yeah.
I am not a fan of the Assault Chain mechanic. I think okay, so here's something else too. I hate the strike counter unique gauges. I hate
Who doesn't?
Two Gohan's unique gauge.
Who
I
doesn't?
hate Ultra UI Goku's unique gauge. I hate Ultra Janemba's unique gauge. I've never been a fan of those auto gauges.
I'll give Janemba a pass. He got fucked.
I'm not saying that Assault Chain
the other two,
is not good enough because I like those gauges. I'm saying it because it's
toxic.
I don't like those gauges, and we need a way to deal with them, and this was not a good enough way to deal with them. That's the conclusion to what I'm saying about Assault Chain.
All right. I've heard enough. This is a full 10 minutes of Gogeta slander. I agree with this. Well, I don't fully agree. I understand this placement. Again, I have him arguable 3 to 4 with Frieza, so that's where I'm at. But I can understand his placement. I don't want to drag this out to also 50 minutes. So yeah, he's gonna slander Gogeta more, which it's valid. He has flaws, so point them out. He's correct to do that. This character is not flawless. Vegito is much more flawless than Gogeta. Not some stupid fusion debate, by the way. Just how it is in the game. So let's get to number 4. Curiosity, who's here? I forgot.
All right, we just spent
UI. Okay, yeah, no. Understandable. And personally, I would have UI 5. I do think Gogeta and Golden are in a better spot. I guess Golden's going to be right here at 1, 2, 3. But UI definitely is on a better come up. Again, you're not facing Reds, so he's much more free, and you are much more free to run I think it's green, yellow with Revival Green Gohan, Super Saiyan 2, Ultra Gohan, and then UI. Once again, you are not facing Frieza very often. I'm not, you're not. If I'm not, you're not. I'm in a high rank. So you're probably not as well. And you're not facing Super 17, which would be the best red right now, very often at all. So yeah, that's completely free. Sun Family. I've heard other setups, but I would say that green, yellow definitely is the best. So UI, understandable. Again, I haven't one placement different. In these top tiers, it kind of matters, the placement differential by 1, but I understand where this is from. I'm valuing Gogeta Blue's, I would say, individualism more than the team in this setting, which is not much different, but just a tad bit. So that's where I'm at. Let's get into the top 3.
Okay, so for spots 1, 2, and 3, I am going to do a shared 1, 2, and 3
okay,
spot.
so it's 1A, 1B, 1C. That's interesting because, I don't know if that is something people do often, but so they're all number 1, arguably, in some regard. So I have this right now. I've changed my opinion from where I thought it was just Vegito and it was Gogeta at 1A, 1B because, blinded by hype. Now I thought it was Gohan and then, or rather Vegito, then Gohan. And now I'm at the situation where I think Gohan and Vegito are tied for number 1. So they're both here. Agreed. Makes sense. Golden? So I can understand the logic behind it. I really can. I'm not fully on board with Golden here, just because, again, there is 3 yellows. You can't just ignore that fact. While Golden, once again, can't stress this enough, doesn't really give a fuck about these yellows. He still is a purple. You gotta just accept it, acknowledge that at that point. He still is a situation that it's not the best ideal spot, and he also doesn't have a red to kind of offset those 3 yellows. So yes, I can understand where this is coming from. If you were going to tell me, like, okay, who here could you have more debatable in a setting, whether it be GB, UI, or Golden? Yeah, again, it just becomes a toss-up. So I'm not like, oh my god, Golden Frieza's here. I'm just more shocked than anything. I don't think it's a bad placement. I don't think there's really anything terribly placed here. Maybe things I don't agree with, but, who cares, right? It's not that deep. There really isn't much that I don't really agree with really at all. We skipped half the damn video because I agree with most of it. But, yeah, no, I can understand the thought process behind Golden. If I already had the other two up here, hey, you know what? You want to slap Golden up here? I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't slap Gogeta where Gogeta is. I wouldn't slap Golden where Golden is. But I could understand the thoughts behind it and why it's there. You run movies right now. You run Golden, Gogeta Blue. You want to run Broly. You want to run Red Beast. I don't know who you want to run. You want to run somebody at that team. You want to run Paikuhan. I don't fucking know. Go crazy. Go wild. Do it. You want to run Golden Leader with double fusions. Go crazy. Go wild. It makes sense that Golden can just run around and do his thing because, again, while he is a purple, he still is a very good purple that doesn't fully care about yellows. He does to an extent because he has to worry about them. But once again, that comeback mechanic is super strong. So, again, I can understand where he's going with this here. Overall, once again, I don't want to make this video too long, so we're going to just cut it here. This is probably my most agreed upon Goresh list ever. I would say a full, 90% of this, I would say I agree. If not agree, because I don't have to like fully one-to-one agree, understand where he's coming from with a lot of these characters. But I know a lot of people won't, like Mr. Number 5 here. I don't think it's too bad. Again, I kind of have Gogeta at this teetering 3 to 4 area, and then Golden is right there with him, and Golden's right here at arguably 1A, 1B, 1C, which would probably be Vegeta 1, Gohan 2, and then Golden 3 if you were to like really pin it down. So, yeah, no, I don't really have any dilemmas with this. I mean, the bottom few, who cares? Like, yes, I wouldn't say they're ideal, but who really gives a shit about, like, anything below top 8? I don't think that really matters. It's always, like, controversial, like, weird category. Like, yeah, you can disagree with it, but, like, we care about these top 5, top 6 type dudes usually, right? Usually that's kind of, like, where there's a creep of power between the characters. So, for the most part, I think this was a very good list. Obviously, that's just my opinion. Your opinion might be different, and that's fine. That's no problem. Cool. Let me know what you guys think of my reaction and Goresh's top 10 list for part 1 of the anniversary of the 6th year of Dragon Ball Legends. And I'll see you guys in the next one.